Spider-Man does whatever a spider can. Spins a web any size, catches thieves just like flies. Look out, here comes the Spider-Man. Is he strong? Listen, bud, he's got radioactive blood. Can he swing from a thread? Take a look overhead. Hey there goes the Spider-Man. In the chill of night, at the scene of a crime, like a streak of light, he arrives just in time. Spider-Man, Spider-Man, friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Wealth and fame, he's ignored.
Gosh, you hear that? Don't you just love that music? Don't you love the character of Spider-Man? Don't you love what he represents? Don't you just find him so entertaining? Gosh, I remember when I was younger. What was that? You don't know who Spider-Man is? Well, we gotta fix that right now. Spider-Man was the brainchild between creators Stan Lee and Steve Ditko. He was the first teenage superhero and appeared in Amazing Fantasy number 15 in 1962. Look at that. Only 12 cents. One of the unique things about Spider-Man was that he showed that the superhero life wasn't all that it was cracked up to be. He had to balance schoolwork, and he had to balance a job, and also his relationships with Mary Jane or Gwen Stacy. He was the underdog, the one that everyone rooted for, and everyone could relate to. And that's what made him so popular. He eventually gained much more success between television shows, more comic books, video games, and a plethora of movies. But that's not where our story begins. Our story begins here at Universal Studios Florida, who have made quite the name for themselves in a little less than a decade.
No one thrills you like Universal Studios, where you go face-to-face with 3 tons of relentless terror in the all-new, all-out attack of Jaws. Battle a rampaging Tyrannosaurus as you scream through time on Back to the Future, the greatest ride in history. Survive a nerve-shattering 8.3 earthquake, then take on King Kong's 50 feet of howling, growling fury. For more spine-tingling action on land, sea, and in the air, the only place to go is Universal Studios. No one thrills you like we do.
Because of this major success, Universal was looking to expand their Florida park by adding a second park altogether. The idea was to create a theme park based on popular cartoon characters. A whole section would be dedicated to the superheroes of DC Comics. A dark Gotham City mixed with a vibrant metropolis would surely lure guests into this new park. Yes, all was looking up for Universal, until most of the brands fell through, which meant no more DC characters.
Some days it feels good being your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Marvel, on the other hand, was also having troubles of their own. They were losing money quickly and decided to sell off a majority of their characters to film and television studios. Sony Pictures ended up acquiring the film rights to Spider-Man, but the theme park rights were still up in the air. And that is when Universal stepped in to acquire the theme park rights for most of the Marvel characters. Through this new partnership, a revolutionary attraction would be born, and the world of entertainment would never be the same again. There were so many things that made this attraction so unique. The creators of the attraction really wanted the audience to feel as if they were in the middle of a comic book. They wanted to bounce around, spin, and turn. And this is when they invented the Scoop vehicle.
We looked at some of the best rides that are out there already. Things like Back to the Future, which really does a very good job of simulating motion combined with film. T2 3D, which does a very good job of pushing the envelope for 3D film.
In Spider-Man, it was combining all of that together on a vehicle that moves on a track. Combining every technology we could think of in one show.
The Scoop vehicle provided intense forward movement, jarring tilts, and full 360 degrees of motion, all synchronized and powered by 3 large computers. Sounds pretty impossible to me.
A lot of people all along the way, including people in our own, on our own team, who just didn't believe this was possible. Why was it not possible? Well, it hadn't been done before. It had never been done before. So, if it hadn't been done before, it can't be done. But we didn't accept that as an answer. We said, we think it can be done. We think we know how to do it. Let us try.
This vehicle allowed the audience to feel every bump, knock, and rev that the creators wanted you to feel. Not only did they put you in a vehicle that could perform all of these movements, they placed the audience in large physical sets with 4D effects that combine seamlessly with 3D images. No one can truly tell what is real and what is fake. One moment you're in a sewer, the next you are flying in the air. Kleiser Walzak Construction Company created the 3D images for the ride. In doing so, they had to come up with a way that 3D looked convincing from a moving point of view. The method they came up with is called
squinching.
I think you need to do some explaining, Frank.
As an abbreviation for this complex mathematical process.
If you were to stand in one spot and look at one of these squinching images, you'll notice that the picture stretches and expands and squishes and does all of these weird and crazy things. But from the point of view of the vehicle, it really looks like a window into another world, and that's what upped the immersion factor on this attraction. For the 3D images and physical sets to blend together, the team took pictures from the 3D images and printed them onto large flats. This means that the brick you see on the buildings isn't real, but is the same exact print as what you see on screen. It completely immerses the audience. The physical sets were so well detailed, and not only that, they were ginormous. Along with the projection screens, they were about 30 feet tall. That's bigger than the size of my house. With this combination, the audience gets one thrilling experience.
With Doc Ock on the loose, this could be the most dangerous night of my life. And yours. Be careful. Nice shave. You guess again, Super Goo. See you later! Congratulations, you're heroes! I do it all the time.
My spider sense tells me this cake isn't for eating. It's for throwing!
Your cake!
I'm sure I'd have gotten a big bang out of it.
Because the ride opened in 1999, audiences felt the footage and effects were beginning to look outdated. In 2012, the ride went through a major visual rehaul. The 3D images were reanimated in beautiful 4K, and the old film projectors would also be replaced with new digital 4K projectors. Along with this change, they added even more details to the physical sets and produced a new immersive soundtrack. The ride became better than ever and still holds the crown as the best dark ride ever built.
It was awesome.
Great.
Best ride.
I like the new Hobgoblin. I thought that was the best part, just how they redid him. And Dr. Octopus was totally different too.
There was the part with the tank, and it looks so real.
It just feels like you're right in the middle of all the action.
This whole experience was awesome.
Since The Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man, other attractions have taken inspiration from this technological marvel, such as Transformers The Ride 3D and Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey. Even Six Flags wanted in on one of these attractions and partnered with Sally Corporation to produce Justice League: Battle for Metropolis. This single attraction inspired a whole new way of telling immersive stories. It even inspired a very young and ambitious Joey Bennett. I remember going to Universal Studios when I was a really young kid, and this was my absolute favorite ride. It still is my favorite ride to this day. Every time I went on it, I truly believed that I was in New York City fighting alongside Spider-Man. And I remember thinking to myself, ever since I went on that ride, that I want to do something like this. I want to make audiences, I want to make people from anywhere feel as if they are in the movies. They are in the comic books. They are in the impossible. And it's pushed my creative limits to unthinkable heights, so much so that I built a mechanical shark that I put in my pool. But that's a story for another time. While many find other rides or experiences to be more immersive, they have this attraction to thank. The Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man pushed the limits of creativity, technology, and innovation. The ride went on to receive multiple awards, including the Golden Ticket Award for Best Dark Ride for 12 consecutive years. The sky is the limit for the future of theme park entertainment, but let's never forget the ride that started it all.
In sports today.
Hey!
The picture's gone.
It's the antenna! Spider-Man's work is never done.